You want to get better at writing. Maybe you want to publish a book one day, start a blog or a newsletter, or even overcome the struggle of writing school papers. Or maybe you're like me, you believe that writing helps you become a better thinker and a concise speaker. But even if you're none of these things, according to Burning Glass Technologies, a software company that mines data from employment ads to find real-time job trends, and they discovered that writing and communication skills are scarce everywhere, yet they are in demand across almost every occupation. And do not tell me ChatGPT can write for you, and I will get to the bottom of that at the end of this video. Hi, my name is Mohamed and I'm a writer, and in this video I will cover the 7 most common mistakes that people make while writing. Number 1, not writing regularly. No one is born talented. Maybe 1 in a million people is born a talented writer or a talented athlete, but most of us have to practice in order to get better at anything, including writing. And in order for you to write regularly, you need to treat writing as a habit. You set a regular time and place for you to write every day or every other day, whatever your schedule allows, and then sit and do the same exact thing over and over. If you're not a writer or you do not want to publish and you just want to get better, then you can answer writing prompts or even journal. Anything that will allow you to interact with the page, with the keyboard, and with words in general. And the more you struggle through the hardship of expressing yourself, your emotions, your thoughts, your ideas, the better you will get at putting words or putting your thoughts into words. Mistake number 2, we no longer read enough. We get bored very fast. We are consumed by the social media algorithm, and this 15 seconds, 30 seconds videos have become our modern entertainment. And even long form videos like this have become boring to watch, let alone reading for an hour or two. And for those of us who only read news articles or a very specific genre, and instead of reading widely so that our vocabulary can grow, our thinking can be diverse, and our experience reading different type of writing will help us develop our voice. So make time for reading, even if it is 10 minutes a day, whether it's during your commute to school or work, or even at the end of the night before you go to sleep. Just dedicate that time and read good books. If it is not a book that you are enjoying, toss it away and move on to the next one. Stop reading books that are not entertaining, that are not helping you grow as a writer or helping you grow as a person. Mistake number 3 is neglecting the editing process. Most of us, especially when we're students or when we are students, we wait until the last minute, the last day, the day before the deadline, before we write our papers. That never produces good work. If you have any experience writing, you know that first drafts are the drafts where you discover the structure of your idea or the initial image of what your idea looks like. It is in the second draft or in the editing process where you get to know what is the depth of your writing mean. So you might ask, how am I supposed to edit my own work if I can't see my own mistakes? And this is what you do. You write a first draft. If it is a 10-page paper, you write a first draft based on an outline or freestyling it, however you want to start it. Just get out that first draft. And after you write the first draft, stay a few days away from the writing. Do not look at it, do not read it, do not think about it. And after 3 or 4 days, get back to it and read it one time with commenting on the sides of what you are thinking, what changes that you want to make, or what sentences stood out for you, and the ideas that centers the emotion of the piece. After you finish reading it and commenting on the sides, you will get a better idea of what the piece is trying to communicate, what you are trying to express to the reader, and you will start your second draft with a clearer objective in mind. And to be quite honest, to be a writer is to have that stamina to go back to the drafts over and over again and refine them over and over until they become crisp. Does it ever become perfect? Not really. Do you know when it is going to be done? You do. You just have a feeling that now I have to move on to another project, or this is enough time that I've dedicated to this piece or this paper or to this story. And at that point, you just move on and not dwell on one project. Mistake number 4 is ignoring structures. You see, especially for nonfiction writing, most of the things that we read in articles or in books, if they're structured in a coherent way that communicates ideas based on a very specific order, we get to remember them more as readers, as opposed to if they are randomly structured and there is no specific goal for them. And structuring your piece can happen in one of 2 stages. Some people love to outline their writing before they start writing and just stick to that outline until the end. word. Others cannot start with an outline. They get stuck, a writing block hits them, and they cannot move on from that outline. But if they write a whole piece based on random thoughts together and then read over what they wrote, then they can figure out the structure from inside the piece. And in their second draft, then they stick to the structure or outline they have created from that very first draft. So experiment, see which type of writer you are, which type of person that you are, and stick to your own natural style. Do not try to force it just because you heard this amazing writer who you look up to adheres to a certain specific way. Discover what you are into and stick to that. Mistake number 5 is failing to understand your audience. It is very different when you're writing a paper for a professor at the end of the semester for a final in English class, and when you are writing a blog post for people who are into technology or into art or pictures or whatever the case might be. One will be very formal, rigid, it will cite all these studies to prove a point that you are trying to argue. The other might be a little informal and it will communicate your personality, your style, certain words that you might not even use in a research paper. So understand the psychological language that your audience uses, the common words that they circle around, the things that makes them them. And they're probably the same people that you are a part of or the community that you are a part of. So you are the expert at your own community. Use those words, use that language, because the reader then will relate to the writing better and it will be more engaging and they will stick around for longer. Mistake number 6, and this is in the Elements of Style and every other book that you can ever find about writing, is using unnecessary words. Do not try to sound sophisticated or smart. Treat your readers with empathy. Value the time and energy they are giving you work. And in order to do that is by writing very clear, concise sentences and language in your writing. This doesn't mean write short sentences. It just means spend a good amount of time in your writing, in your blog post, newsletter, or whatever it is, so that people can feel this person have spent that time in order for them to deliver a work, a piece that is worthy of my attention. And as a rule of thumb, always, 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 simplicity and clarity over complex language all the time. Stick to it. It will serve you very, very well. Mistake number 7, and this is all what you have been waiting for. It is relying on AI tools like ChatGPT. Now, if you've been using ChatGPT, you probably know or can recognize a ChatGPT piece. If you're reading an article or a blog post and someone have used it, you know there's a certain language that the AI program is stick to. Now, if you haven't, then I encourage you to do so, because I think it's a very good experience. I think it's helpful in many ways, but what is not helpful is for you to fully depend on it. ChatGPT will not help you become a better writer. ChatGPT might help you find a better word, a better sentence structure, a better outline structure, but to write is to communicate the inner self, your personality, your struggles, your story. And for you to let someone else, a machine that is very, very new to us and is not as sophisticated as we might think it is, then you will lose on the learning process of you as a writer, the reward of getting a piece done from beginning to end, and your writing will not feel authentic. So if you're gonna use ChatGPT or any AI model, then use it as a supplement, not a replacement to your own writing process. I hope these were helpful, and if you are passionate about writing and you want to know more, then you can sign up to my weekly newsletter Increments, where I share writing tips, stuff about my writing process, books I'm enjoying, and even just insightful life lessons that I'm experiencing. In the meantime, thank you for watching and keep writing.